Friends, a lot of chartered accountants, cost accountants, and MBA finance, they aspire for a career in corporate treasury. So, what is exactly a corporate treasury career? How easy it is to get there, and what do you do on a day-to-day basis that makes this profile so exciting? Why do so many people want to get into corporate treasury? The answer is very simple. It is actually very exciting. Now, it all also depends on the size of your company, the complexity in the company, and the risk management policy. So for example, you are in an Infosys, there are these billions of dollars which Infosys has an export receivable in terms of the exports of IT services. But your corporate treasury has a strict policy that whatever is the exposure that you have, you got to phone up the bank and take a forward cover, close it. Not much of an excitement. Compare this with another organization which says, okay, I have, let's say, $15 million of dollar receivable. So I will rather write options on the basis of that, earn some premium income, keep this open because I have this specific view on this particular rupee devaluation. And that is the kind they run treasury as a profit center. That will also determine the efficacy of the treasury function. Your company is in a rapid growth stage and it needs to raise thousands of crores of rupee. Now that should be raised in rupee denominated loans. Can it be raised abroad, let's say in Singapore, in the form of external commercial borrowings? Will you raise, like zero coupon bonds? Will you have debentures which are listed, whether they are privately placed, whether you'll raise commercial papers for your short-term borrowings, and at what rate do you actually borrow? These exciting stuff, right? Your company is a lot into export and import, and therefore a lot of these letters of credit, LCs as they call it, are into the system, right? When you, let's say, export of iron ore is there, or export of pulses is there, import of machinery is there. So there are a lot of these LCs, BGs which are open. Now all of that is actually getting onto the blockchain. So pretty exciting stuff, because otherwise if you see opening of an LC and getting the payment done after the delivery is quite a pain. But with blockchain, and of course this policy is really slowly creeping into the system, but that is what is happening. Now think about another profile in treasury, which is investments. So there are typical companies which like 30,000 odd crores of surplus cash and cash equivalents on their books. So a lot of that money, let's say, is invested in mutual funds. So whether you want to invest in a liquid or a liquid plus or an overnight, or take a longer duration money market, or a credit risk, or ultra short term, exciting stuff. Whether on a short term basis you want to subscribe to, let's say, some NCDs of a company, or now there's REITs and the InvITs. How do you boost your treasury income? So if the treasury is actually run as a profit center in that organization, there are a lot of opportunities which are there, and treasury will always be at the core of any organization. So let's say when we were doing some M&A transactions, the first thing that we need to go and ask treasury that, why do you have the money? What is the forecasted cash flow for the company where we want to do this 500 crores worth of transaction? And treasury can actually veto the transaction, say that, I don't have the money. Or treasury will be mandated by the top management that somehow you have to raise this money, you have to fund this acquisition. Now I'm talking only of a 500 crore transaction. Imagine a company going for a $3-4 billion overseas transaction. Treasury has so much that it has to do. Then this pretty exciting stuff also on a day-to-day basis, like cash management system, managing the day-to-day surplus liquidity, managing the credit ratings of the company, which has an impact on your cost of borrowings, your surplus liquidity, how do you actually forecast it, manage it. Treasury therefore is a very exciting role. Now the larger question will be, sir, how do I get into treasury? Now that is a bit of serendipity. So you might join in a normal accounts, finance, MIS profile in a company, make your mark there and move into corporate treasury. That's a natural progression. And then you become a subject matter expert of treasury and then move into companies only on the basis of your lateral experience, which your specialization is treasury. So that's like a stroke of luck in many ways. In some cases, you can demonstrate that you've acquired new knowledge, very core knowledge in terms of analysis of forex and fundraising patterns, etc. and somehow there'll be some godfather in the organization who gives you this profile. So actually there is no rocket science that okay, I need an MBA from a tier 1 IIM college only, and then I get corporate treasury. Anyone can get a corporate treasury as long as you can demonstrate that you can handle this. Treasury in banks is in fact all the more exciting because you manage, billions of dollars of worth of transactions, 81 bonds and perpetual bonds and GSEC treasuries, etc. So banking treasury is a very, very different role. Corporate treasury is a very different role. There are some people who are into consulting and individual capacity. So let's say typical importers, exporters, they keep their dollars exposure open because they have no freaking idea of how to actually hedge it. So as an entrepreneur also, you have a lot of role that you can play in the treasury domain. So friends, treasury is very, very exciting. And if you are lucky enough to get this kind of role, do grab this, and it's a huge opportunity to make your mark in an organization. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this useful, please share it with your near and dear ones. Thank you. Bye bye.